The British Bulldog, a proper British legend. Now look at this fella. To most of the world, he's a bit of a cartoon, isn't he? A walking potato with a grumpy face and a snoring habit that'd rattle the windows. But if you think the British Bulldog is just a lazy sofa warmer, you've got a surprise coming. This dog is Britain personified. He's got the grit, the history, and the kind of never-say-die attitude that's seen this country through fire and blitz. Today, we're going back not just 100 years, but nearly 1,000 years, to find out how a lean, mean hunting machine became the nation's favourite sour mug. It's a bit of a wild ride, so grab a cuppa and let's get into it. The Dark Ages, the butcher's muscle. We start in the 1200s. Back then, they weren't bulldogs as we know them. They were massive, athletic beasts called aluts or bandogs. They were the muscle for the local butchers. See, back in the day, if you were a butcher at Smithfield Market and an angry bull decided he wasn't ready for the chopping block, you needed a dog that could pin 1,000 pounds of beef to the floor. By the time of old King John, this turned into a sport called bull baiting. It's a bit grim, I know, but you can't tell the story without it. The idea was that the dog had to grab the bull by the nose and hold on for dear life. If the dog let go, he was useless, good as dead. This is where the famous tenacity comes from. And notice the face, that famous pushed-in nose? That wasn't an accident either. It was designed so the dog could lock jaws onto the bull and still breathe through his nose while he was doing it. The wrinkles on the face, they were there to channel the blood away from the dog's eyes so he didn't lose his sight in the middle of a scrap. Every inch of this dog was built for a job. A tough, dangerous job. The 1835 turning point, a breed out of work. Fast forward to 1835, the world was changing. People were becoming a bit more civilised and Parliament finally pulled their finger out and put an end to bull baiting. Suddenly the bulldog was unemployed. And let's be honest, back then they were seen as dangerous, aggressive animals. Most people thought they'd just die out. But this is where the British stepped in. A few fanciers, mostly working class blokes and pub owners, decided they loved the look and the spirit of the dog too much to let him go. They started breeding them for a different kind of life. They didn't want the aggression anymore, but they wanted to keep that look, the warrior look. They bred them shorter, wider, and more importantly, kinder. They turned a gladiator into a gentleman. By 1875, the Bulldog Club was formed, in a London pub, obviously, and they set the rules for what a proper bulldog should look like. This was the birth of the modern companion dog we see today. From the pits of the East End to the parlours of the West End. The national icon, Churchill and the war. Now you can't talk about the British Bulldog without talking about the big man, Winston Churchill. During World War II, the Bulldog became more than just a pet. He became a symbol of the whole country. Even though Churchill actually preferred poodles and pugs, the British public saw him as a bulldog. That heavy jaw, that defiant stare, that I'm not moving for anyone attitude. It was exactly what the country needed when things were looking a bit scary and hairy. The bulldog spirit became a real thing. It meant being stubborn when you're right, standing your ground when you're pressured, and being fiercely loyal to your mates. The dog didn't just represent a breed anymore. He represented the British backbone. The modern governor, living with a legend. So where are we now? Well, the Bulldog has come a long way from the butcher's yard. He's a bit of a celebrity nowadays. He's the Marines mascot, the front of an insurance advert, and he's probably snoring on your nan's sofa right now. We've had some hurdles, mind you, because they've been bred to look a certain way. We have to be extra careful with their health, making sure they can breathe easy and stay active. But for those of us who love them, there's no other dog like them. They're stubborn as a mule, they'll steal your spot on the bed or sofa, and they'll cost you a fortune in vet bills and dog food. But in return, you get a mate who would walk through fire for you, a proper Brit. A bit rough around the edges, maybe a bit loud, but with a heart of absolute gold. The British Bulldog, still the governor, and cheers for listening.